So welcome back to another pregnancy update. So originally I had planned, after I put up my 8-week update, to do these updates every other week. So there should have been one for week 9 and 10, but one, I was really sick and didn't feel like filming, and two, nothing really happened too much in weeks 9 and 10, and I didn't really feel like it needed to have its own video. So I'm just going to go over weeks 9 through 12 in this video. I am 13 weeks today when I am filming, so we're going to be talking about weeks 9 through 12. So I'm not going to talk too much about weeks 9, 10, and 11 because, like I said, nothing really major happened. Pretty much weeks 9 through 11, I still experienced really bad morning sickness. I was still throwing up multiple times a day. I was still having severe nausea that was from the time I woke up until the time I went to bed. I was just really sick still, and I feel like when week 9 hit, it actually got worse. So I thought weeks 6, 7, and 8 were bad. Weeks 9, 10, and 11 were even worse. Also, something cool is in week 9, we actually went back home for my nephew's birthday, and my sister told me that she had a bunch of maternity clothes for me, and I actually posted a photo on Instagram about this. I have like this giant tote, and I'll insert some footage for you guys showing you like a little bit of like what I'm talking about. I'm not going to do an entire haul. I originally was planning on it, but there is just so many clothes that I just don't think it would be possible to go through all of it and show all of it to you guys. There's probably at least like 20 pairs of maternity pants in there. There are so many tops, and it's been through 3 different women, my sister and 2 of her friends, and between the 3 of them, it has been through 6 pregnancies. So you can imagine how many maternity clothes, like how much maternity clothes they have collected amongst 6 pregnancies. So I'm incredibly thankful that I'm pretty sure for the most part, I shouldn't have to buy any maternity clothes. The only thing that I've noticed that I might need to buy is a pair of maternity shorts, and I want to buy a couple dresses because there are a couple dresses that they gave me, but they're more like formal, and I want more like just casual ones, kind of like what I have on right now. This is just a maxi dress I've had for years, but it's nice and like stretchy, so this is going to be great because it fits me right now when I only have a small belly, and hopefully it should fit me, you know, like all throughout the 2nd trimester too, and throughout the summertime when my belly gets a little bit bigger because there is room for it to stretch. So I have been on the lookout for that, for some more kind of like loose fitting flowy dresses for the summertime. So as for cravings, week 9 through 11, I really was craving mashed potatoes. I don't know what it was. Pretty much throughout that time, it was still really hard to eat anything. The thought of food just grossed me out. I couldn't eat anything because as soon as I did, I was either nauseous while I was eating it, and then it made me gag afterwards, or it made me actually throw up afterwards. And so food and me were just not friends, and nothing sounded good. I really did not like meat. I'm honestly still at the point where I don't like meat. Like, meat kind of grosses me out right now. I can cook it on occasion, and it's not even so much like raw meat, it's just the taste of it and just the thought of it. Like, I just don't want it. So I don't know what it was, but I just really wanted mashed potatoes. It kind of helped with me feeling nauseous. It was something that I was able to actually eat and not like immediately throw it back up. And I probably ate so many mashed potatoes throughout that time because that is really like all my stomach could handle. I don't really have cravings for mashed potatoes anymore, week 12 going into week 13, but I really went through a craving of mashed potatoes, and it had to be instant mashed potatoes. It couldn't be homemade. I am not a huge mashed potato fan to begin with, but I really do not care for homemade mashed potatoes. I like instant. I think they're creamier, and I just really wanted the instant mashed potatoes. So moving on into week 12. So like I said, I am 13 weeks today, and this past week, I've definitely noticed that my morning sickness seems to be easing up somewhat. The beginning of the week, it was still there, but it seemed like it was getting better. Now that I'm at 13 weeks today, which my days, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this before, but today's Monday when I'm filming this, and my flip days are every Monday, which makes it incredibly easy to remember when I change over my weeks because it's the start of each new week. But I'm 13 weeks today, but the end of this 12-week period, I definitely noticed that I started to feel a little bit better. My appetite has started to come back. I can actually think about food now without like wanting to dry heat. And I'm definitely starting to eat more, which is really, really good because over the past 4 weeks, I actually ended up losing about 5 pounds because I wasn't eating enough. I couldn't keep anything down. Even like water still kind of bothered me, so I kind of switched over to eating ice chips or like sucking on ice chips to get that water because that didn't gross me out as much. But yeah, so now that I'm at the end of like week 12, the beginning of week 13, I've definitely noticed that my morning sickness is starting to get a little bit better. It's still not completely gone. I am still pretty much nauseous all throughout the day. There's still certain things that gross me out and I don't really want to have. I'm still a little bit limited in what I eat, but I've definitely, like I said, noticed that I've been wanting to eat more. The one thing I will say with that is that I feel like my morning sickness has gotten to the point now where this is what I thought morning sickness was going to be like. I'm still nauseous, you know, I still feel kind of like icky and I don't feel great. I'm still really tired, but it's manageable. It's like I have, you know, like the nausea, but I'm able to like push it aside and be able to actually do stuff. I just need to sit down and take some breaks every so often. So it's to that point now where that's what I thought morning sickness was going to be like, where if you threw up, you felt better, and then, you know, you were fine for a little bit, or if you were nauseous, it was there, but you were still able to like function and do stuff. But weeks 6 through 11, that's just not how my morning sickness was. I had really, really bad morning sickness to the point where I was unable to function and I couldn't leave the house. This weekend was probably the first time that I left the house in probably at least the past like 4 or 5 weeks. And I mean, like, I've gone outside on like my patio and stuff, but I haven't gone to like a store to go groceries, to do any of that. And you know, that's kind of depressing. Like, I feel like if you have really bad morning sickness, it definitely makes you a little bit depressed and it makes you a little bit lonely because you can't go anywhere or do anything because you're so sick. And like, I couldn't even do normal stuff, like even taking a shower or like making stuff for, you know, for me to eat was like hard. It was an entire like ordeal. I had to talk myself into doing that. And I feel like morning sickness for me throughout weeks 6 through 11 was just to the point where, you know, it was just all day, constant, never ending, and I just was not able to do anything. And I don't know if that's normal or not. I had a couple people ask me if I thought that I had HG. I don't know. I looked it up, and it's not something I asked my doctor if I had. I looked it up, and, you know, you can do, like, different quizzes and stuff that let you know if you have it or if you don't, and, you know, what the symptoms and differences between just really bad morning sickness and what HG is. And I feel like I kind of fell in between, like, really severe morning sickness and HG. I don't necessarily think I had HG, but I don't think my morning sickness was as normal as it was supposed to be. So I don't know. I don't know if I had it. I know that there are different variations of it. I know that there are people who have HD and it's so extreme that they have to go to the hospital to have like IVs and stuff. But there's also people that have HG that, you know, don't have to, but they do lose weight. They're unable to eat, you know, they are starting to get dehydrated. They, you know, can't function. It interrupts, like, you know, their day. Like, it's not just you get sick, okay, and you go about your day. A lot of times with normal morning sickness, you throw up and then you feel better. But with HG or with like really bad morning sickness, you throw up and you still just feel like crap. It does not do anything. And sometimes it just makes you feel even more sick. So I'm not sure. In the end, it doesn't really matter. A lot of times it does clear up, you know, in your second trimester. And I feel like I am going into that path. So hopefully it just keeps going that way. Fingers crossed. So some other symptoms I've noticed this past week is 1, chest still growing. I actually outgrew 2 out of the 3 bras that I bought about a month ago. So that's fun. I decided to just go the cheaper route and I bought some cheap sports bras that were on clearance, and I just bought them in like a size or 2 sizes like larger than what I normally would. And you know, I think I spent like $15 for like 3 bras, and I figured I would just do that up until the end when I buy really good quality like nursing bras. But I've already outgrown 2 out of the 3, so that's been fun. Another thing I've noticed is that veins, you can see my veins a lot more in different places. Definitely on my chest, I notice I can see my veins a lot more there. I can also notice them on my legs a little bit more. I don't have spider veins or varicose veins or anything like that yet, so that's good. But it's just, you know, they're way more apparent now. The other thing that I have noticed is hair. Now, a lot of people say that they grow more hair on their legs or the legs grow faster. I haven't had that, but what I have experienced is I have noticed that the hair on my belly has grown. So it's just around my belly button, but I've definitely noticed that my belly button area has gotten like a little bit hairy now. And I find that a little weird. I was definitely not expecting that. I still have really bad acne. I don't know if you guys can see it. There's one right there. There's one right there. It's all the way up here and right there. And it's even down onto my neck. I even have some acne on my chest. And as someone who very rarely ever got acne, it is crazy. I am breaking out like crazy. It does seem to be dying down a little bit, but acne has definitely been there. So the other thing I have been noticing is round ligament pain, and it's mainly been in my left and right side, like right above like my ovaries, when I, you know, move too fast, or if I turn over or roll over in bed at night, or if I cough or sneeze too hard, I will get a pain there, and usually it goes away within a couple minutes. It's, you know, not like excruciating or anything, but it's enough to make you go like, ugh. So I have been experiencing that. The other thing is my back has been kind of achy and my hip area has been kind of achy. Now, my back, I feel like I always have knots in it anyways, even before getting pregnant. And so I have noticed that has been occurring more lately, mainly when I sleep. I've noticed that I feel like I need a lot more support in like my hip and my back area. So I have been looking into pregnancy pillows. Right now I've just been using additional pillows like shoved underneath me, and that kind of helps, but I feel like I need like an actual pregnancy pillow that like can go all the way around me and I can have it in the front and in the back. So I have been looking for one of those, but other than that, that's pretty much the only symptoms. In terms of cravings, I have had 2 cravings this week. One is pretty much just anything cold. So ice chips, popsicles like freezer pops, slushies, ices, that type of stuff. It is starting to get really warm here because we're going into summertime, so it's been really hot out, and so that stuff has just sounded really, really good to me, so that has definitely been a craving. Other thing is beer battered onion rings. I don't know what it is, I just really wanted onion rings. So those have been 2 of my cravings for this week. So something that happened this week is I had my second appointment. This is my 12-week appointment. So this was the first appointment where we are going to be meeting with one of the actual midwives. So last time we met with the nurse manager, and they just kind of go over all of your like history and stuff like that, and then you tell them if you want to meet with the doctors or if you want to meet with the midwives. At the practice where I'm going, there are 3 midwives, and I will cycle through all 3 of them. The one that we actually had this past time for this appointment, she's actually pregnant herself. She is due in September. So that's kind of interesting. It's kind of cool. She said that she should be back by December. So she may deliver our baby, or it might be one of the other 2 midwives. Like I said, I will cycle through all 3 of them throughout my pregnancy, and then whatever one is just on call whenever I go into labor, that is the midwife who will end up delivering my baby. So I don't really necessarily have a choice between any of them, but so far, pretty much every single person that we have met at this practice has been incredibly nice. From the people at the front desk, to the people who have taken my blood, to, you know, just like the nurses who do like your measurement and your weight and stuff, to, you know, like the midwives. Just everybody has been incredibly nice. I don't feel like I'm rushed. I don't feel like when I'm sitting in my appointment that I can't ask questions. I feel like I can ask as many questions as I want, and that they give adequate time to answer all of those questions. And I don't feel like they're trying to rush me out the door. So that is great, because I've been to a lot of doctors in my life, and I feel like a lot of times you go in there and if you have more than like 2 questions, I feel like your doctor starts to get impatient and wants to like rush you out. And I understand they have other patients that they need to get to, but it's really unfortunate, you know, because you want to feel like their doctors are listening to you and that they're actually taking the time to answer your questions and answer them thoroughly. So I really, really like our practice so far. I am happy with my decision to, you know, choose them. My next appointment that I will go to, I will be around 16 weeks and I'll be meeting another one of the midwives. So at this appointment, it was honestly rather quick. Colby came with me again. Colby intends to come to all of my appointments with me, or at least as many as he can, though he did say that when it comes down to the end, when I need to go like once a week, that he might not go to all of those because it's really not necessary. But he does enjoy going to them with me. So this time we went, they did my height, they did my weight, my blood pressure, just a quick exam, listened to like my heart and stuff like that. Felt like, you know, like around like my uterus and stuff like that. Just make sure everything's okay. And what else? They also listened to the baby's heartbeat with the Doppler, which scared the crap out of Colby, which I had warned him ahead of time. I was like, you know, they say that sometimes they can't always hear the baby's heartbeat on the Doppler. You know, like baby might be behind something or might be moving too much, or it might take a little bit of time for them to catch it. And we had already heard the baby's heartbeat at our first appointment. But I did warn him that I did read that sometimes, you know, like they have a hard time finding it and to like not freak out. So sure enough, she was using the Doppler and it did take a while for her to find the baby's heartbeat. I think our baby kept moving around because she would find it for a second and then like it would flicker off. So our baby's heartbeat was 156 beats per minute. So if you go by the old wives' tale, that still says a girl. But we will see. We actually find out very soon, which I'll talk about that here in a sec. But our baby's heartbeat was 156, and that's what Colby's like, I was so relieved when she finally found it because, like I said, she took a couple minutes to find it, and it kind of freaked him out a little bit. But, yeah, so we did that. We had blood work taken. We are doing 2 different types of tests. The first one is for screening my blood to see if I'm a genetic carrier for anything, so to see if I'm a carrier for like cystic fibrosis, stuff like that. So we're testing for that. And then the other one is to test to see if you were at risk for Down syndrome and any type of chromosomal disorders. So we had the blood work done for that. As well as with those tests, they are actually able to determine the gender, and our doctor says it's 97% accurate, so we did decide to go ahead and elect to do that. So my midwife said that it should take about 7 to 10 days to get back those results. My appointment was on Thursday the 25th, so I'm kind of wondering if it'll take a little bit longer because this weekend was a long weekend since it was, you know, Memorial Day, so it was a long weekend. So we'll see, but it should take 7 to 10 days. She's going to call me with the results and let me know about, you know, like the genetic testing and seeing if I'm a carrier and about those things. And then she is going to put the gender of our baby in an envelope, and then she offered to either mail it to us or just leave it at the office and we can just pick it up. So in 7 to 10 days, we should be able to know what we are having, which is so super exciting. I don't think we're going to tell you guys when we find it. I think we're going to wait until our next ultrasound to have it like confirmed. Even though it's 97% accurate, I just don't want to say, oh yeah, hey, we're having a boy, and then go to our ultrasound and be like, nope, that's a girl, or like vice versa. So I think we are going to wait. I think we're going to tell our family what the blood work says, but I think I'm going to wait to tell you guys until after we have our ultrasound as well. So one thing at my appointment that we did learn, and I talked a little bit about this in my last video, is the fact that there was a chance that we were going to be referred to a high-risk doctor. So, for those of you who don't know, I have a positive SSA antibody, which is an antibody often found when you are testing for things like lupus and Sjogren's, and I have that antibody. And with that antibody, there is a small percentage of a chance that your baby could be born with either neonatal lupus or with some type of congenital heart defect. So I've always known that it was a possibility that when we got pregnant that we would have to go see a high-risk specialist and that we would potentially have to have fetal echocardiograms. So when we talked with, you know, the doctor last time, when we went to our first appointment and we mentioned that to her, she said that she would get in contact with, you know, the specialist and with the doctors that deal with like high-risk pregnancies and deal with that type of stuff, like heart problems, like with babies, that she would get in contact with them and see if they thought that we needed to have a referral to them. So when we went to our 12-week appointment, my midwife did mention that they had contacted them and that everyone felt like we should meet with them. So they are setting up a referral with a specialist who deals with high-risk pregnancies and does stuff like, you know, fetal echocardiograms and those different type of things. So she is setting up a referral for us with that doctor. Now, this doesn't mean that I will be a high-risk pregnancy. There is a possibility of it depending on what we find out at that appointment. But we are going to have a referral to them. I need to actually contact my doctor that I went to when I was like 18 or 19 when I found out about that antibody, to have them send over my health records and all of that to the high-risk specialist, so that way they can see all of that and have that information for them. But from my understanding, we will meet with them, we'll have, you know, just like a checkup and stuff with them and talk with them. And then I am pretty sure we are going to have a fetal echocardiogram. And if you don't know what a fetal echocardiogram is, it's essentially like an ultrasound, like a regular ultrasound, it's an over-the-belly ultrasound, except on the screen, they will just be focusing obviously on the baby's heart. And what they are looking for is they will have, I think it's like red and blue lines. And they'll look to see, you know, about the blood flow throughout the baby's heart to see if there's any blockages or if any, you know, thing is like missing, or, you know, just anything wrong with the baby's heart. And there's a good chance that we could go and the baby's heart could look completely fine and completely normal. And if that's the case, I'm not entirely sure if we will have to get any more. I have read that if your baby is going to have a congenital heart defect that is going to show up by the time that you are 35 weeks pregnant, and it's very unlikely that it'll show up after that. So I'm not sure if we will have to have fetal echocardiograms up until that point, or if we'll have this one and then maybe later on we'll have another one, or if just this one and then our 20-week anatomy scan will be enough to be like, okay, I think your baby's okay. I'm not entirely sure about that yet, but I know we are going to have at least one fetal echocardiogram, which on one hand I'm not too concerned and too worried about, because the chances of something being wrong I do believe is around 3%. So it is pretty small, but there is a chance that there could be. So it is kind of a little bit scary to have to go and have that done and know that that is a possibility. But I will be going to that. I'm not entirely sure when that referral will come through. I would assume sometime soon. It really just depends, but I will keep you guys updated on that, about when I get to go. But yeah, so I'm not really looking forward to that appointment. That appointment's a little bit scary and just, but yeah, so, okay. So, going into a more happy, upbeat note, and I went out shopping the other day, and I picked up 3 different things, and then we went to Goodwill today. There was a new Goodwill that opened that we wanted to check out, and I actually ended up getting 3 different books. So I'm going to show you what we bought for the baby first. Okay, so pretty much I bought all gender-neutral items because, like I said, as of this point, we don't know what we are having. So the first thing I picked up is a 5-pack of hats, and these were $3.99 for a 5-pack of hats. And it's just gender-neutral colors, so it's like green polka dots, a different color green. There's like this green, yellow, and gray star one, the little like yellow striped one, and then just a little yellow hat in the back. But $3.99 for a 5-pack of hats, I think, is a really good deal. That is, what, less than $1 a hat? So this is like less than, like, you know, yard sale, like secondhand prices, which I'm completely not opposed to buying my child secondhand clothes, because especially babies, they go through clothes so incredibly fast. But I bought these, and our baby's going to be born in December, so their first couple months that they are going to be here is going to be really cold because it's going to be winter, so they are definitely going to need little hats. So the other thing I bought is an outfit, which I'm debating returning just because I thought I picked up 0 to 3 months, and I actually picked up 3 to 6 months, and then once getting it home, I'm like, I don't know if I'm as in love with it as I thought I was when I was at the store. I definitely feel like this could be more for a boy than a girl, but I still think it could pass for a girl. It's $4.99, but it is this little, like, onesie, and it says Daddy's Superstar, and it is just a navy blue and a light blue with stars, and then you go down, and it has a little feetsies, so super cute, like little sleeper. So I got that, thought that was really cute. And then the last thing I got, this is a 5-pack, and this was $5, so $1 for each one of these. And it says that they are flannel blankets, but honestly, I feel like these are way closer to like burp cloths with the size and texture of them. There's this one right here. It's like a little gray chevron, so, you know, little burp cloths. But there's a gray one. They're like the gray chevron one or strip one. There's a white one, a light gray one. There is a yellow and navy blue star one, and then the one right, this is so hard to do on a webcam, the one right there is just little like birds and like circles. So we got those, and that is all of the baby things that we have bought so far. And one of the main reasons that we haven't bought a lot of baby stuff yet isn't because, you know, we were waiting until I was like 12 weeks or anything. I know some people do. It's honestly just the fact of I've been sick, and so I haven't gone out anywhere, and so I haven't really felt up to doing any shopping. Now, mind you, we have an entire like Amazon wish list of a lot of different baby stuff that we are interested in, that we want to do some more research in terms of like car seat and our stroller and like the crib and all of that. But I just haven't, you know, been up to going shopping and like going to go look at stuff. And now that I'm starting to feel a little bit better, I'm like, yes, let's go buy all the baby stuff. So the other thing is, like I said, we went to Goodwill, and I ended up buying 3 different books. So out of these 3 books, I had 2 of them actually on my Amazon like wish list that I was debating purchasing. The first one is, you know, the what to expect when you're expecting, the book that I feel like every single pregnant woman has. And I'm going to be honest about this. I have heard mixed reviews by different people about whether or not it was worth it to buy it. This thing was $15 on Amazon, and I was like, you know what, like, a lot of people are saying that a lot of the information was outdated, or that they felt like, you know, they could get the same type of information online or on apps, and it just really wasn't worth it. So I decided not to buy it. But we were at Goodwill, and I found it, and it had a price tag of $1.99 on the back of it. And I didn't pay $1.99. I ended up paying $1 for it. I ended up paying $3.15 for 3 different books. They ended up ringing up for 99 cents as children's books. So $3.15 for 3 books, I was like, heck yes. The other one was by Jenny McCarthy. It is The Belly Laughs, and I've heard good things about this as well. I heard that it's really funny. It's, you know, just kind of about what you really can expect during pregnancy. Again, this was marked as $1.99, but it ran up for 99 cents, and this is $9 on Amazon. The last one is a giant book of baby names. Now, this is a roll of baby names, over 30,000 names, and this honestly is kind of like overwhelming because there's so many in here. But I ended up picking this up. We do have quite a few baby names picked out. We're like 99% sure on a boy baby name, and we're like 80% sure on a girl baby name. The boy name I feel like we're more set on than the girl name. The girl one is, I really like that name, but I feel like we might find a name that we like better. But as to all of the names that we have, you know, found and that we have liked so far, this one has been our favorite. And with the boy one, I've yet to come across another name that I like as much as this one. So, I don't know. We'll see. Well, I figured this would be fun to kind of like go through and see if there's any names in there that we haven't thought of or haven't found online. So with $3.15 for all 3 of those books, I was like so stoked. All right. The last thing is just, what am I looking forward to? So next week, my 13th week, I am looking forward to the fact that I can finally dye my hair again, which I don't know if you guys can tell in this on the webcam, but all right here, my hair is this lovely white gray color, and it desperately needs dyed. And my doctors recommended that I waited until I was at least 13 weeks to start dyeing my hair again, and I cannot wait. I am so dyeing my hair this week. So the other thing that you guys might notice is the fact that I had my hair cut, and I have been wanting to get my hair cut for a while now. Honestly, I might go even shorter. I'm not sure yet, but I was just so sick of my hair. and I just wanted something different, and so I decided to have it cut. I'm still trying to like figure out how to do it now that it's short again. I tried to just like curl it a little bit again, like make it like wavy, which I'm not great at doing anyways, so I don't know. I'm still playing with it. It's the first time I tried to like curl it or do anything with it, so we'll see how that goes. But I do think I'm going to eventually get it cut even shorter. I just don't know how short yet, but I'm excited for that. Also, this week when I went out, I also bought myself some new pair of pajamas, some new cute shoes for the summer, and I also bought myself a new cute purse. And the reason for that is, like I said, I haven't been out of the house in like weeks, and I feel like morning sickness definitely made me feel a little bit depressed and a little bit down, and it kind of sucks the joy out of being pregnant, because when you're just focused on a day-to-day basis of essentially just trying to get through the day, that it doesn't really leave much room left to, you know, be excited really about, like, you know, all the exciting things that come with pregnancy, and about, you know, shopping for the baby things. And that's not to say that I haven't been excited about the baby, because I totally am, but it's just, I felt like my days were just so much of just get through the next hour, get through the next hour, get through the next hour, get through this day, get through tomorrow. Just trying to essentially like survive, which sounds like dramatic, and yeah, it is. But, you know, it was kind of depressing, and I told myself that when I started to feel better, one of the things I wanted to do was get my hair cut, because I wanted to do something for myself. And the other thing is I wanted to go, you know, buy myself a couple things. And I wanted some new summer PJs, and I wanted some cute new summer sandals. And so I let myself do that, and just kind of gave myself a little bit of a treat as a little bit of a pick-me-up to make me feel a little bit better. And I would highly, highly encourage it. I've debated writing a blog post about, like, morning sickness and, like, feeling, like, blue and, like, down, like, during that period. And I feel like it's something that not a lot of people talk about, but you can totally, like, feel, like, depressed or, like, sad and stuff like that, like, while you have morning sickness and, like, during that. And I don't feel like a lot of people talk about that. So let me know if you guys would be interested in a blog post about that, and maybe I will post that. But yeah, so with that being said, I will show you guys my belly bump. I think today I'm just going to show it to you just with my clothes on and not my like shirt lifted up, because I do have a dress on. If you want to though, if you go on my Instagram, or maybe I'll insert it at the end of this or something, I have one posted for when I was 12 weeks and 2 days. My belly is a little bit bigger than that, which I'm super excited about. You can finally start to see it's a... I laughed at Colby the other day because I had a tighter black shirt on, and that's, he's like, you're right. He's like, you do look a little bit like, not fat, but I feel like I'm starting to enter the pregnancy part where it's like the fat phase, which sounds terrible, but it's like, that person could be pregnant, but they also could have just put on some weight. That is the stage that I feel like I am in right now. I'll show you it here in a second. Alright, but that's it for my week 9 through 12 update. I'm not sure if I would do one for week 13 or 14, or if I might wait until my next appointment again. It'll really honestly just depend on what happens, and if there's something that I feel like I need to talk with you guys about. But let me know if you guys have any questions down in the comments below. Also, my pregnancy Q&A will be going up this week as well. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will catch you guys later. Bye, guys.